So, if you find yourself falling back into the sabotage cycle with food in spite of everything that you know, I just want to suggest to you that it's most likely not you that's the problem, but your strategy that's the problem. Because over the last decade of living free from my food addiction and helping so many other people get on their path of freedom too, is that 99.9% of people who tell me that they know what to do when it comes to their struggle with food are actually applying strategies that are keeping them stuck and blocking them from the path of real freedom. Which is why in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 common strategies that you might want to stop doing if you want true lasting freedom from food. And I will share with you a free resource at the end for you to get on that path of true lasting freedom right away. So if you're excited about this topic, please give this video a like so I know to make more videos like this for you. Hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time I post a new video. And in case you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Debbie Lichter, food addiction expert and founder of the Freedom Embodied Academy, where I help high-achieving women get free from food addiction and food obsession so that you can feel comfortable in your skin and have the confidence to be authentically you and shine your light in the world. And everything that I share in these videos is part of what helped me to get free from my food addiction and obsession over a decade ago, and the things that I have been teaching ever since to help others get on their path of freedom too. Okay, so before we get into these 3 strategies, I just want to say that freedom means different things for different people. So when I'm talking about freedom, I'm talking about no longer thinking and obsessing about food all the time, eating only when you're hungry, naturally stopping eating when you get full, feeling intuitively guided to the foods that feel good in your body, and having a sense of inner trust and ease around food, even if you're out at a restaurant or a social gathering. But true freedom is also more than that. Having true freedom is also feeling comfortable in your own skin, feeling confident to speak up and to honor your truth, being authentically expressed, and just feeling lighter and more inspired and more joyful. Around here, we call that embodied freedom. So if that's the kind of freedom that you want, then my recommendation is that as you hear these 3 common strategies, if you relate to one or more of them, that you consider for yourself and ask yourself these 2 questions. Is this strategy working for me? Is this strategy leading me to a deeper sense of ease and freedom and lightness and fulfillment and authentic expression? And if it's not, then you might want to consider trying a different approach. Okay, so the first common strategy that you'll want to consider stopping doing if you want the kind of true lasting freedom that comes with a deep sense of ease and inner trust and lightness and fulfillment is focusing on food in order to fix your food addiction. So this includes diets, cleanses, detoxes, food plans, food philosophies, pretty much any strategy that is focused on food. Now, I know there's a lot of food addiction programs out there that preach abstinence of sugar, flour, or wheat, or promote specific diet protocols. So I want to be clear, if there is a way of eating, like being gluten-free or not eating sugar, that works in your body, I say great, do that thing. But if you are fixated on following a food plan in order to have freedom from food addiction, I just want to say that focusing on food is a surface strategy that won't necessarily lead to an inner state of peace and ease and fulfillment and inner trust and lightness and authentic expression. In order to have that, it's going to require a deeper journey of getting free from the things that are driving you to food in the first place, which is something I go way more into in this video right here. Okay, so the second common strategy that you'll want to consider stopping doing if you want that true, lasting, embodied freedom is constantly researching nutrition information. This includes poring over the latest nutrition books or listening to podcasts or attending webinars or taking classes, all trying to figure out what you should eat. So this is similar to the first strategy, but it's a bit different because here we are looking at how much time you are spending researching about how to fix your food and essentially how to fix yourself. So there are 2 major flaws with this strategy. The first flaw is that as you are researching information, it's constantly keeping you outside of yourself, as if the solution to your problems lives outside of you. And as long as your focus is outside of yourself, it's going to prevent you from cultivating that deeper sense of inner trust and ease and freedom that we were talking about before. The other major flaw with this strategy is that it is built on a wrong premise, that there is something wrong with you that needs to be fixed. So hear me out when I say that there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing that needs to be fixed. And here's the thing is that you couldn't, even if you tried, try to fix yourself to freedom, because the trajectory of freedom lives in a completely different realm, a different level of consciousness than the closed loop of the fixing paradigm. So again, if you recognize yourself engaging with this strategy, no judgment, just ask yourself, how is this strategy working for me? And is this strategy leading me to a greater sense of ease and freedom and lightness and fulfillment and authentic expression? And if it's not, then you might want to consider a different approach that is focused on supporting you in cultivating a deeper level of inner trust and teaching you how to be intuitively guided from within. Okay, so the third strategy that you'll want to consider stopping doing if you want that true lasting freedom and that experience of inner trust and ease inside is relying on someone else's protocol for what to eat. So again, this is related to the first and second strategies, but it's a bit different because in this case, there is often one plan of eating that becomes your holy grail. You become obsessed with sticking to this one protocol. You have a fear of veering off the plan. Your whole focus becomes, is this on the plan or is this not on the plan? You do not trust yourself and you become totally reliant on what somebody else has to say about what foods are good for you and what foods are bad for you. Now, let me be clear when I say that it's not necessarily the food plan that is the issue. There might be some recommendations for what to eat that work really well in your body. It's the wholesale acceptance of what someone else tells you to eat and the complete lack of cultivating that deeper level of inner trust that, in my experience, can be quite problematic. Now, I know it can feel really safe to rely on someone else's protocol, which is why so many people find this strategy and stick to it for a long time, because the alternative can feel really scary, especially if you have struggled with feeling out of control with food in the past, or you've given up all confidence in your ability to make healthy choices. But what I'm just suggesting is that this is actually not a long-term strategy if you are ultimately wanting that true, lasting, embodied freedom where you operate from inner trust and you feel that sense of ease inside and you are able to be authentically expressed in the world, because this strategy will block your ability to cultivate that deeper level of inner trust, and it keeps your locus of power outside of you instead of inside of you. And when your locus of power lies outside of you, it can generate insecurity, dependence, fear, the need to control, and will actually block you from truly experiencing freedom. So again, if you are engaging with this strategy, you can ask yourself those questions and evaluate, is this strategy truly working for me? Is this leading me to a greater sense of internal ease and peace and lightness and freedom and joy and fulfillment and authentic expression? And if it isn't, then you might want to consider trying a different approach that is geared towards guiding you back to you. Okay, so I want to hear in the comments, which of these common strategies are you relating to the most, and which ones are working for you or not working for you? Go ahead and leave a comment below. And if you've determined that you want to stop one or more of these common strategies and find a new approach that will put you on your path of true, lasting, embodied freedom from food, then I'm going to leave a link in the description box below for a free resource for you. It is called the Freedom from Food Addiction Clarity Guide. It's going to go into a lot more detail about what is most likely driving you to food in the first place, why you're staying stuck in your sabotage cycle, and really what to do in order to truly get on your path of lasting freedom. So now you know 3 common strategies that can actually block your path of freedom from food addiction, and you have some suggestions and free resources that can show you what to do instead. So if you got some support for your path of freedom here on this video, please do give it a like, make sure to subscribe, watch this video next, and I will see you next time.